Today's our marker studio, and the first thing I'm going to do is show you some examples of past student work that they've done with markers. And then I'm going to show you some of my past demonstrations, and then I'm going to demonstrate some things. This is an example of what a student put in their portfolio. So this marker drawing of Jimi Hendrix they did for me in class. And you can see what's the thing that makes marker work is it's high contrast. They left the white of the paper, they have black, and then two colors, this blue and this purple. And that's everything except until you get down there in his shirt. There's only 4 colors in Jimi Hendrix's face. So he did that. Then in his portfolio, he took Jimi Hendrix into Photoshop and repeated it to the background, changed the color, pretty simple, just made them monochromatic in the background. And then he did a logo, and he called it, it was a menu, and it was Jimi Psychedelic. This was an example of very muted marker, and this student did an editorial illustration for his portfolio on racism. So he has this person being lynched here, which is a pretty somber marker there, basically just grays and browns and black, and then he's got the Ku Klux Klan here, and he used this for his splash illustration on the article that said racism, and then he used this for the illustration later on, like page 3. One of the things that happen is that marker has those lines showing. So a lot of times you can't get rid of the marker lines on there. And this person just went with it, and actually made the lines part of the illustration. The more realistic you want the drawing to be, the more colors you put into it. So this is a red car, but it has everything in there from purple to white to blue to just an amazing number of colors to get red. So the more colors you get into it, the more realistic it gets. Here's a face. The key to the face is getting the shadows right. As you can see, the shadows coming up through the middle is the last. So the way marker works is light to dark. So when I did this, I did the yellow, then the light brown, then the orange, then the brown, then the red, and then I think this is green or blue on top. So how many layers is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. People are tough, and you don't have to be realistic. You can have completely unrealistic colors. Like this is an eyeball. Maybe this orange is a little realistic, not really. But obviously the green is not. And so, although this pink is pretty realistic, so you can have very realistic eyes or skin color, or you can go very unrealistic. We're all going to do geometric shapes with a shadow. This is another example. This is an oyster shell or a snail shell. Again, yellow, orange. You can see all the different colors built on top. When you start with the geometric shapes, we're going to use the light side, just like life drawing. Light side, shadow side, core of the shadow down the middle is the darkest. Notice the use of leaving the white there for the highlights there. Again, it's the white for the highlights, color of the uniform, and then the shadow. I asked you to bring in the color images today. The brighter the image with marker, the easier it is to do. If you're doing something complex, in marker, it's helpful to break the image apart. So this was a big image with a person and their jeans and the background and everything, but you really have to do one thing at a time. So you have to do the jeans and do all the jeans first. Then you would do the shirt, the person. If you have something in glass, you do what's in the glass first. So here's all the apples in the glass. Then you put the glass over the top, and I can demonstrate this. So you see I put blue over the top of the apples, and then I come in last with the white colored pencil to do the highlights, and then I put the mechanical line around the outside. It's really hard to do realistic skin tones. That is one of the hardest things to do. So here's, an example where I got a little too green. Here's a little too orange and blue. Here's, pretty pink and green, but anyway, there's a couple examples. This is an example of skin tones, very unrealistic skin tones. It looks a little bit more interesting in the marker. Here's a car headlight. Mechanical things are really easy to do in marker. The more mechanical the thing is, easier. Skin and people are harder. Not that we won't try it. This is our mayor, Pat McCrory. I tried to do him. Very unrealistic colors. So look at all the colors I've got in here. And you can tell that's a person. I don't know if you can tell it's Pat McCrory. But I started out with yellow, then pink, then orange, light brown, and then I've got blues, greens, all kinds of stuff in here. Here's a strawberry. Just look at this strawberry, the number of colors. I started out with the pink. I left the white. I've got pink, orange, red, blue, dark red, and black. All in that, trying to get red strawberry. This is an example. I try to do an example of this spaceship. And you can see this is the spaceship without the mechanical line, and this is the spaceship with the mechanical line. Sometimes with the mechanical line can really help. Here's an example of someone's combination line illustration that I also did with marker. I thought this was pretty subtle with the pink and the orange and the dark orange and the red over there. One of the things I'm going to show you is marker doesn't blend. I've got the blending stick today, but I can't ever get it to blend. But if you want to blend it like I've blended on the penguin's stomach, you got to use colored pencil on top. One of the things you can do with marker is you can do black and white. So I've got all my gray markers here. Some people have the gray marker. Some people like to buy them. You can do just gray markers. As an example, and this was my skin color. It has marker, color pencil, marker first and then color pencil. And even though you can tell, it was really hard to get that level of subtlety in skin. So even with me trying to really tone it down, he still is a lot brighter than real life. And I started out with the white. Obviously, I left the white highlight there. And then I have some yellow, I have some orange, I have a lot of the different browns in there, I have some red, and then I go to the black finally at the end.